I was okay with the idea of lying on the ground and not feeling judged. There was one bird that flew around like a helicopter, but he didn't let out any emissions. He just let out a beautiful sound. And I think that's what's great about birds, isn't it? Like, I listened to this podcast the other day, and on the podcast it said, birds don't sing to win a Grammy. They're just flying around, having the time of their lives. And here I was, on the ground, having the time of my life. And I opened my eyes and I looked up and I saw the clouds. And when I look at the clouds, I try and form object pictures. And I could see a dog or cat, probably more a dog, but then I thought it was a cow because I'm surrounded by cows. And I was hoping that a cow would come over, but they didn't. I was looking into the sky and I was thinking, how far can I actually see? So I looked a bit deeper and then I saw a cloud. And then another cloud, and then another cloud. And I was like, maybe I'm a cloud. I'm not, I'm a human. But the idea of being a cloud is pretty nice because the clouds just keep going. The earth moves. And the sun was creeping in, creeping out, and there were moments in there where I wanted it to be over, but then when it was over, I was just like, I was actually quite enjoying that.
In a way, I felt like I was between the earth and the sky. So I felt like I was totally in between them. And I could only see the trees, so that added to that feeling. But everything around me was moving. I could hear all the sounds, the birds, the cars, people in the distance. I couldn't hear the sea, but I could hear a lot of sounds. So it felt like everything around me was moving, but I wasn't. So then my mind was free to move, so I could think and imagine things. I could feel the light changing. It was quite bright and sunny when we started, but then it got cloudy. But the colors were just blue, green, deeper, darker colors from the trees. But then I prefer to close my eyes and just tune in into the sounds and the feelings. It was kind of like going into my thoughts and coming back to my body and back and forth. I was thinking a lot about how we end up with places, choices, like what leads us to where we are, because I was in a very still moment. So I was thinking about the journey that leads to a moment of stillness. And be aware of your body in a way that you aren't usually. Your body in relationship to nature, to the stillness and the hardness of the earth, and then to also compare where your mind can go in comparison to your body. And your mind can just pick up the sounds and the light, maybe even, and it can go on places while you're standing still or lying down.
I stayed pretty much in the moment. And I was thinking about all the chemical reactions that were happening in the fabric around me, and this happiness when the sun came. I wondered if that's how flowers feel like, if they have feelings. And I felt like one of those plants when you do cyanotypes and they are between the glass. I was feeling trapped because I couldn't feel my arm and it was freezing because it had no blood. And I just felt trapped like a plant between a glass and the cyanotype. So I was having mixed feelings about the sun and the plants, and I felt connected with nature though. Midway, I started not liking it, but there were some great moments, some bad moments. It's fun. It's a fun thing to do. It's a different feeling. I never thought it's kind of photography, but you are a subject, but you are kind of like a shadow. Even though I didn't pick the best position, I was I was when it saw what was over, I was a bit sad because I started to enjoy it.
Each time I close my eyes, I could see different things. The colors, because of the glasses, they were always changing. Sometimes it was green, another time was red. I could concentrate myself in the noises around me, like the birds, the cars. You can sense very different things when you have your open eyes. You can see things, and you don't care about the noises or the smells or nothing. You just care about what you are looking for. And then the clouds, they were always different. Sometimes they look like a river because they were like separated. I had to close my eyes sometimes because the sun was really strong. And each time I opened my eyes, the things were all different. The bugs were still there, layers and layers of bugs, and I could hear them.
As I laid down, my mind was still very active. In the beginning, for a very short moment, I was focused on the position of my body. It was quite uncomfortable for a bit. But eventually, that thought just flew out of my head and I became comfortable. I was trying to focus on the nature that was surrounding me. Just the nature. Not the cars, not the planes, just the birds and the wind. 2 minutes passed in my head. In the real world, 20 minutes passed. And it started raining. And I woke up.
I felt really heavy. I literally felt like I was just a tree trunk. But it felt like I just didn't have limbs. And I felt like really like stuck to the ground. So then when I was thinking that, I wished I was a feather. I really wished that I could just feel really light. There was a point where I wasn't here at all, and the sun wasn't hitting my face or anything. So that felt like, I don't know, it felt in my head it was like a storm came. I just wished I could just listen to the sea and the wind and the birds all the time.
At the beginning, I was just so bored, so numb, senseless maybe. Then I started to visualize myself into a different world. I started to see myself in totally a different world. It seems like as if I was just shooting a movie for myself and seeing myself from different angles, just walking, talking, and socializing with some imaginary people I had in my dream, I guess. But I wasn't asleep. I started to feel like I'm losing the sensation of my body. And I just started to think about some old memories I had back in time. Maybe that was triggered by the birds. I don't know, because it has been a very long time since I've been listening to the birds whistling, singing maybe. It feels like they were just talking to each other, calling each other in the open air. The people I was just imagining and talking to, they were not just an imaginary people I created by my own mind, they were just some people I had from my memories. And I thought this is like a very, very good opportunity to revive those moments again. And And by that time, that's when the rain started falling, and the droplets, the sound of the rain droplets was just amazing. I just could feel the rain droplets over my head, over my ear, over my hands, my leg, my body, my back, and the sound of the droplets falling on the sheet, it was just creating an echo into my ear. And honestly, that took me to a new whole and different experience. I just feel like I'm getting into a new different world than the new different world I was already in. You don't get such an opportunity to relax each and every day. It's like, when was the last time you had like a relaxing time? When was the last time you've been into the open air, listening to the birds, enjoying the view, just closing your mind, thinking about nothing, leaving everything behind you, and just, just that's it. Just, just turn off your mind and just let everything go. Just give your brain a time to relax.